Thank you and good afternoon. First and foremost, thanks for the few of you who've taken time to come back here. I know that this was a promise that was delivered yesterday, that if you put up something on the wall, parts of it will get converted. And I think the ThoughtWorks team has really taken effort to create a prototype. We are here to witness what they have created. So thanks for taking time post-lunch. I hope it's going to be engaging for most of you. For those who didn't come, you got a job. You got to go back and tweet and tell them that they missed out on something if this is good. If it's not good, you got a chance to boo here, but don't take the boos outside. Is that okay? So once again, thanks for taking the time, and I hope that we get a good demonstration of what it is. It was something which is an ask from us as a community, and I think we owe it to the ThoughtWorks team to at least sit back and see how they have converted our wish list into a prototype at this fast pace. So thanks, and Visa, I'd like you to come up and take this through.
Hey everyone, a big thank you from ThoughtWorks to see you all here. And yes, as RAI said, we promised and we delivered. So that's pretty much the motto that we'd like to live up to and that we do. So about yesterday when we went up to the disruption wall, we found an idea that we picked up. So we just wanted to show how we could actually take ideas, innovate, and quickly deliver that piece of work. So that's what we wanted to show out here. So software development need not take eons and ages to do. So the idea that we actually picked up was cashless payments, mobile checkout. So the user journey that you will be seeing here is primarily where you can go into a supermarket or any place, scan the product using your mobile phone, get the bill, make a mobile payment, take your goods and walk out without any intervention from anybody at all in the store, unless you want one. So that's what we have actually prototyped. We have actually built a native app. So typically a native app means that it is native to that particular device, which is say Android or Apple. So that's what we've done. And the Android app that we've also developed can work cross-platform, which means that it is not restricted to any other phone. So that's what we've actually done. And I'm going to ask Hari. And so I would like to introduce our developers first. So this is Hari, Safad, Selva, and Raghavan. They've just cracked it in about literally a day's time. So I think these guys rock. Just a round of applause for them once again, please. Thank you. Over to Hari.
Yesterday we went through the wall, some idea wall, and then we found few stickies like Visa mentioned that self-checkout and then mobile payments is something that people are looking for. And we actually chased the guy, his name is Nikesh, and then we had a quick chat with him, like what is his pain points? We just don't want to go ahead with the idea or prototyping them. So we chased him and then we had a quick pain points, what he has. He goes to a supermarket like Hypercity or something on a weekend, and I think everyone does that. And he says that he's spending about 30 minutes in the queues just to take the items out of the shopping cart and then get that billed and then get home. And then that is something that not every customer would like. And that's what we were interested in, and we kind of built it. So imagine, I'm imagining I'm in Hypercity, and then I'm going to walk through the aisles and pick up some things. So there are a lot of solutions available right now which is being tried in India and outside India, something like a barcode scanner. People take it as part of the trolley and things like that. But that takes a lot of money to invest in by the retailers. What we have done here is we have taken customers' smartphones. I think everyone has a smartphone right now. And then we kind of converted that into a barcode scanner and then kind of a mobile POS system for the retail. So here we have some items that we find in any of the grocery shops. And then we're going to use these items, use the barcode, and then see how we build the shopping cart. and how we make the payment for the shop, for the purchase that we are making. So, okay. Thank you. So the app that we built is a self-checkout app, and the app, so here, okay, I'm just gonna start from the beginning. So this is an app where we want to do fast prototyping. So we did not go and build some like user management system like from the scratch. So we kind of used Facebook's account to log in so that we can use our Facebook IDs to log into this app. So I'm just logging into the using my Facebook ID. So since I have a Facebook application, it's just going to redirect to that. And then it's just a matter of like, agreeing that I'm okay to use my Facebook authentication for this app. So now that the user got authenticated, he should go to the home screen. And our network is really fast. So now we are in the home screen. So based on the actions what Nikesh mentioned, he picks up the items as well as he looks at the carts, like if he has picked up the items from his shopping list. So right now, if we look at the cart, there is no item in here. If there is any item, it will say the total and then the number of items in this one. So I'm going to scan some items so that I can build up my shopping cart. So every product that we have right now has a EAN code, and that's what we are using to identify the item uniquely. So we are using the camera as a scanner, and then I scan the item. So it comes up, and then I'm going to scan the item. And then it's going to find it is Chocos, and then I will be able to cart. And I just want to go back to cart and show you guys that the item has been added. So this is in the cart right now. I'm going to go back and scan few more items. A Parle-G biscuit. And some chocolates. Some chocolates and some more chocolates. We like chocolates. So all these things have been added to the cart. Now, for every item that you add, you got a notification that an item was added to the cart. And then if you look at the right top, it also mentions the number of items on your cart as well. So we go back, and then we go see the cart. There are 4 items on the cart right now, and there is about like 590 rupees of goods that we have added to the cart. Now, it's on the cart, but it's not going to ease his pain of like waiting in the queue for like 20 minutes. But it will ease out like at least 10 minutes, because where the attenders or the store staff will be trying to pick in each of the item and build them. So that time is reduced. But still, you need to go stand in the queue and then get it paid. But if you have a mobile POS system, you can actually pay from your mobile and then go out. You don't have to wait for any attendant or any staff to come and help you unless you have a question. So we kind of like put in a checkout, and then we are using a PayPal for doing the checkout. It means that you can use your card, you can use your PayPal account or anything that you want to, and then you'll be able to pay the thing. Right now, I am putting it on my Sandbox URL, so it's available in US. So the dollar symbol over there, it's a rupee symbol, but since it's a US server, I'm using dollar. And then I have already stored my credit card onto this, and it's a matter of like clicking a button, credit card, and then once the payment is done, we are good to go. And then if you want, what we can do is like have an email receipt or anything like that as part of this one, but that's not in our prototype. But if you want to make it a full-fledged product, we will be able to do that. And PayPal is taking some time, and then it's checked out, cart checked out, and then there is no items in the shopping cart right now. So you are free to take the items home. That's the prototype that we built in exactly 8 hours of coding. Thanks, guys.
All right. So that was a native app built for iOS. So you can feel that the look and feel of iOS. But today in the market, right? So not everyone have iOS. So people also have Android and other smart devices. So that's the other next part that we're coming to now. So this is my Android phone. We built, basically what we did is we took another step for the same problem with a completely different approach. So how we built this is a hybrid app. So when I say hybrid app, so it is not built specific for a platform like iOS or Android, but it can be shared across different platforms like iOS, Android, and Windows, and any other platform that is there in the market as well. I'm going to log in. So you will see similar functionalities, but not exactly the same. So we split across, and then we built it as two different apps, but for the same problem. So basically, different solutions to see how it will and how it is going to be satisfying the needs. So I log in. All right. So again, a screen where I can scan and add items. Okay, we'll add more items. Okay, we'll add one more packet of oats. Cool. So we have few items in the cart. So we have the same details like what are the price of each item and then the total number of items that I have in my cart and everything. So once I finish scanning everything, I can do a checkout, and I get a total cost of all the items and different options for paying similar to the other app. So I can choose to pay by my credit card. So I mean, this is obviously a prototype, so it is not going to talk out to a payment gateway to approve the payment. So, but just no. It is a usual process of any other credit card payment system. So, and again, I go back to my card screen. So like this, we can build on top of this, can have different functionalities like to track my purchase patterns. Based on it, I can, if I'm purchasing something on regular intervals, the card can be automatically giving suggestions when you are purchasing something, etc. And the possibilities are endless. So basically, what we wanted to prototype and show in these 2 days is if you have the right team put together, we can build anything as with a simple solution and solve complicated problems. Yes, please.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm Vikas Chopra. Now, we also tried something similar, but the challenge we were facing when we tried to do it in live was that the scanners on the phones, you have to struggle for scanning. Probably you have got little bigger products which are easily scannable, the EN codes. But when we tried to actually do it in a live environment, it was a struggle scanning those products. So what is this? What is the forward way, or how do we overcome that? It's not very user friendly to scan using the phone.
Agreed. So definitely a real practical problem that we have come across in the past. But the good thing is there are libraries and tools which are improving in this area, in this basically recognizing the barcode scanners. In fact, Apple in the recent version of iOS has released barcode scanning as part of the the mobile device itself. So we don't have to use any other third-party tools. So like this, everyone is interested in this problem, trying to solve this problem. So the same barcode scanner library, if it has been a year or a year and a half back, it would have taken a couple of more seconds. But so basically, people are addressing the problem, and going forward, it should be going down.
There are scanners available that gets attached to the mobile. Maybe if you've got a store like this, you might want to keep that as a separate thing that people can attach and go. I know it could be a short term. People who've got the latest iPhone could possibly use it directly. The others will change it. I'm sure in the next 1 year's time, almost everybody will have a much better scanning software available on their phone. So
yeah,
that's the thought currently I have.
Absolutely. And in fact, if it is on the other side, if as a retailer, if you want to have a similar mobile-based solution, I think there are products already in the market which has combined a barcode scanner along with an Android-based device. which you can straight away use it, which will give a performance similar to our regular barcode scanners.
On behalf of few of the retail CIOs here, I just wanted to say I think you guys have done a really great job. This is spectacular stuff. We shouldn't let the nitty-gritty details of operational life get in the way of what you've established, which is the concept of how you develop stuff. Hats off to you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so at the risk of being devil's advocate, I spent some time in the expo and spoke to a few of the technology solutions providers who do this. Okay, I also spoke to a couple of their customers, small retailers who've tried this. What they told me is the technology is not the problem, it's doable. The problem is the customer. How do you trust that the customer will scan all the items in the shopping basket before he walks out? So this, in terms of the, what they told me was that retailers now have created a concept of half queue busting. They don't do the payment part of what was shown to you on screen because of the issue of trusting the customer. What they do is the scanning part. So your 30-minute wait on a weekend in a hypermarket will come down to 15 minutes. But as a customer, I want it down to 1.5 minutes. So I don't know if there's a technological solution, and like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate here. But to my mind, there is probably a mix of both technology, process, habit, adoption, which needs to come in to sort this out finally.
Okay, right. So yeah, what you're saying is a fair problem, and I think yesterday as well during our breakout session we did discuss this particular problem. There have been retailers who've tried to, who've taken different approaches to this. Some of them have said that the portion of people who are going to do this, or the investment that I have to do to probably prevent this kind of a pilferage is negligible, and have said, no, it's fine. I want to give my customer the convenience. There are a set of retailers who have said that let me, do it by people who, who are my loyal customers and who I think I can trust. And, those people go up right through to the payment. Random checks are a way that some retailers have also looked at. There is a solution of using RFID chips as well, which you can attach to the product. And thereby, have RFID readers and all of it, which will help you prevent. There is another way of doing it by weight. So normally when you have a particular bag of goods and you know that it weighs so much, that's an approximation which is actually done. But, that's also a way of doing it. So there are these multiple ways in which if you really want to tackle the problem, there is an answer. But again, the question goes back to how much do I want to invest in what technology and what's the return that I will get by doing it. So, yeah, I mean, there are ways and means, and what distance you want to actually go to solve the problem will probably give you the right solution. I hope that helped. I'd really again like to thank all of you all for giving ThoughtWorks this opportunity to have done this. I mean, our rock stars really rocked, and it was just fantastic to, I think the real response that we got was when all of you all actually said that you appreciated this, because this is where we feel that, we are helping the retail community as a whole, and that's the way we want ThoughtWorks to be going forward for retail as well. Thank you.